storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello, my friends. Hope you're well. Hope you're fine. It's Karl Smith here with the UK Hypnosis Academy. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Make sure you can hear me. And and I hope wherever you are in the world, everything's fine and happy. So I've just got off a great chat with Richard. I mean, if you missed last night, go back and watch last night's. But did you watch last night with Richard Barker, the incredible hypnotist? And did you enjoy it? That's the main thing. Did you enjoy yourself? Good, good, good. So while we're just doing that and you're just answering there, cool, let's just do this. Okay, so first off, as we always do, Donna Marsh, thanks very much for your support and becoming a YouTube member on this site. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is a YouTube membership site, and if you want to get all the benefits and the bits and bobs that are going to be happening in the background, then please join us. As low as $5 a month, all the way up to $90 if you want to have a session with me, a mentoring session with me and all the material. Don't forget, guys, all aficionados, please make sure that you contact me so we can get in a session for you. Good. And that also goes to Carol as well on there. Cool. So Briandon, hope you're well. He's always here first. Anya, Briandon was just on Richard's a minute ago. Stevie, hope you're well. James, hope you're well. Hope you got, I did refund that for you, buddy. Max, hope you're well. Who else we got? Eric, hello, my friend. Hope you're well. Hope you're fine. Maggie, bonsoir. Hope you're well. Levi, hope you're well. Moonman, hope you're well. Paulie Johnson, hope you're well. Jackie Brennan, Wendy, hope you're well. Going for all of these. Whew, my God. Miles, hope you're well. Jules, hope you're well. Lindsay Peters, Mario, how are you, my friend? Good, good, good. Don't forget all those members. Don't forget, if you are a member on this site, Moonman, don't forget, if you are a member on this site, don't forget to get into the Facebook group that's available to you. Hi, Simon. And that will give you access to the Facebook group. And I'm playing around in there doing stuff at the moment. And we are going to be launching the Hypno Lottery tonight. So we're going to be getting people from around the globe to work with people. So that'll be going on tonight. Lindsay Peters, hope you're well, my darling. Sarah, hope you're well. Hope you're fine. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Happy days. Richard, and for guys, Richard, who's down there at the present moment in time, I think that none that Eddie. For those guys and girls, Richard was on last night. If you didn't see last night's live, his interview. Evening, John. Hi, Carl. About business last night. You know, I've just been on his just now. We've just been talking about stage hypnosis and stuff like that. It's been brilliant. Last night, he introduced us to a product that he utilizes all the time to get his stuff. And some of you were over there with Richard Short a little while ago. So good evening, David. So yeah, so if you haven't seen last night's, please go to last night and then go watch that because it will give you some ideas about your business, how to develop it. And if you're going to learn business off of people, please learn from people who understand the business and have a business sense of acuity rather than somebody who's done a Udemy course. Richard has built a massive business in hypnosis, doing all the cruise ships, business, seeing private clients, working with celebrities, all that type of stuff. Hi, Max. Hope you're well. Dinesh, hope you're well. Good, good, good. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it. Okay, so tonight, how to deliver a presentation in hypnosis. Hi, Mario, if I missed you, by the way. The key thing is that I'm going to give this presentation tonight. Some of you have seen it before, and that's all well and good, but I'm just going to go through the format of if you were my subjects out there tonight. And it's vitally important that you sell yourself. You know, like we keep on saying, I keep telling people as well, is that let me just check that. Hey, Carl, not a job at all. I figured you'd want feedback, but yesterday's sound quality is better than today. Stand by. How's that? That should drop it down a bit. I'll tell you for why, my friend. It's because I'm standing too close to the mic. That's what's happened. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a presentation tonight. I'm going to take you through the presentation. I'm going to treat you as though you were a member of an audience anywhere. This has got me clients, everywhere. It's just got me clients all over the world. It's got me working in Hollywood, Melbourne. It's got me on TV shows, all of that type of stuff. If you copy what I'm going to give you tonight and deliver it, then guess what? You will start to get more. You will start to get more clients. Who was that who just said that then? Max, I think the sound volume should have come down a little bit just then. So hopefully I'm now standing away from the mic. I put a new mic in today. Oh, that's worse. Brilliant. So let me just do something. Happy days. Let's see what happens there. Okay, so how can you hear me now? How's that? How's that? Sounds like medium wave radio. See, Richard, this is why you don't play around with musical stuff before you come on air. Guys, can you hear me better now? There's a 15-second delay. Sounds like I'm in a box. Oh, that's interesting. It's changed. Getting better. Let's see what happens here. Good. Okay, how are we getting on there? But the quality's not great. Right, let me just do something, folks. Let me just do something. Just do this. Okie dokie. Okay, folks. How is that? How's that? Good. Okay, so we're better now. Good. Okay, so I will check that later on. Right, let's get on with it. Hopefully that's better than what it is. So this presentation I'm going to deliver tonight is the one that I would deliver all over the world. I would do it. I would do that anywhere. Hi, Mandy. And it will get you clients. For those people that are watching tonight that are just starting out, this is something for you to do, okay? And I'm just going to do it now. I'm just going to go for it, right? Because we're 7 minutes into it and I want to get this crack for you. And apart from a cock up on sound, that's why you don't play around with sound, people, just prior to coming live on air. Good, here we go. Right, so here we go. Any questions throughout it, I will try to get back to you later on. Good. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Karl Smith, and I am a hypnotist, hypnotherapist, and I get to travel the world and teach hypnosis and hypnotherapy to people around the world. I also get to see people on a daily basis and talk to people and help them with anything from fears, phobias, anxiety, stress, strain, post-trauma, weight loss, and stop smoking. There's many things that I can help you with hypnosis. And if you are stuck at all with anything, please speak to me after this presentation. I'm sure that I've got something to help you with. Just to give you a bit of background about me, just to show you that I've lived a little bit and not just read a book. I spent a bit of time in the British Army. I traveled the world, went to all the sandy places that you definitely may not have, or I hope you haven't been to. And then I joined the British Police. I went on to become a firearms officer or a SWAT officer. And what happened then is that I became a firearms instructor. So you can see that I've had quite alpha jobs. I've had quite high pressured jobs. But on August the 4th, 2006, my life was going to change. And on August the 4th, 2006, a series of events were going to happen that day that were going to change my life. And the worst day of my life was going to become the best day of my life. So I'm going to go through that process now. So I was in the police force, and the long story short is that I was sat at home, minding my own business with my family, doing the usual happy-go-lucky things, and then the next moment a car decided to park itself in our next door neighbours and our front garden. I ran outside, thought I was going to help them, and I went to the passenger side first, went to the driver's side second, and realised that I had a drunk driver, DUI on my hands. And being still in police uniform, I'd only just finished for the day, I wrapped my hand for some strange reason around the seatbelt and proceeded to help the person to get out of the car the best I could. However, the brick wall collapsed that they was balanced on, and what happened next is that I was caught underneath the vehicle because my hand was caught around the seatbelt. I was dragged underneath the car. I bounced out from underneath it. The driver realised that he couldn't get away, so he put the car back into drive.
It was an automatic car, put the car back into drive, and then decided to hit me again and take me back home, which was probably the best thing that he did for me all night. I was left with substantial injuries to the back of my head, to my arms, to my body, to my legs. They were both in plaster casts, and damage to my Achilles. My Achilles was snapped off and sent up to the back of my leg. My calcaneus was snapped off as well. Lots of little bits of damage that were done. I went on a journey afterwards. I was physically, I was damaged all the way through it, and it didn't really appear to me at the time, but it wasn't just the physical damage, it was the psychological damage that was going to catch me. And after being left on tramadol and pregabalin and many other different drugs, I started to realize that I was developing a problem mentally with what had happened. And it had nothing to do with just the car accident. It had to do with everything, the precursors in my life that happened way, way, way before that. My time in the military, and that's the reason I tell you this, is my time in the military had compacted all of the negative things, watching some of the worst and the best atrocities of the human race can do, and then joining the police and having all of that put on me as well, that pressure there, and all compressed until one day when I got hit by the car, it decided that compression was going to open up and just come out in full force. I went to do the usual thing where I went to CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and I went to CBT to have that done, and that just made me worse. It just didn't fit me. I then went to counselling, and then with the counselling, to be quite honest, that was just regurgitating. It didn't fit my scope. I'm from a small place called Great Yarmouth in England, it's a seaside holiday resort. And the reason I mention that is because the next phase is that a police officer said to me, "Have you tried hypnosis?" And I said, "No." And he went, "Let's have a go." And I went, No. Like some of you tonight that are watching this will go, no, you're not doing this. And the key thing is that he educated me and he showed me about hypnosis. So I went along with it, and I had some hypnosis with it, and I could physically feel it start to change my body. I still didn't understand it, but I knew something was going on. And I was still very nervous, like some of you in the audience tonight would be. You would be very nervous if I was to say that I was going to work with you. There would be a little bit, no. And I was still like that. However, I learned, I went more, and I went again, and I went for some more, and it really did start to help me. And on that note then, is I realized that it was all starting to come out. So what happened next is that I decided, part of my journey to support myself, I had a choice. I had a choice to do something. And that choice is I can either sit here and drink Jack Daniels and pregabalin for the rest of my life and tramadol, or I can get off my ass and do something. And that was the choice I made. I made the choice of stop doing what I was doing and to get up and go figure out what I was doing. With this hypnosis, it gave me the clarity that I needed to do it. And then I went off to learn a thing called emotional freedom techniques. And this is a technique and idea that's all about self-hypnosis. And if anyone's interested in self-hypnosis, then you're more than welcome. I can show you some self-hypnosis later on. Or some people may think it's about Chinese meridians. Either way, it still works for most people. So the key thing is that I learned that first. I learned that, and then I went on to hypnosis and went on to a basic hypnosis course. And then I started to advance until it became like a big box of Pringles. It was a box that I just could not stop. And I kept on going and going and going. Now on this journey, I was still on my own personal journey of reflection, of letting go, and realizing that my life had been a bit roughy-tufty and all of these things. And I'd gone from alpha jobs. And now I was thinking about becoming a hypnotherapist, and I had a internal battle, but I realized there was a passion in it and something I really wanted to go for. And I did. And that's why I'm here with you tonight. And the key thing is that those experiences gave me the ability to have the confidence and the fulfillment that I have in today's world. So I had my military career, I had my policing career, I get run over by a drink driver. I had the worst moment in my life. And then the next moment I go on a journey. And that's why I tell people that the worst day of my life became the best day of my life, because it opened my eyes. Some people may say they're reborn. Some people may say it's opened up a new life. It does this, it does that. I never foresee myself becoming a hypnotist. Little did I realize what that day was going to open up for me. Going back to it, The worst day of my life was the best day of my life. So I embarked on a career in hypnosis. I eventually left the police around 5 years ago now. 5 years. Yes, no, it's coming up 5 years. I left the police force coming up 5 years now. And during that time, since that time, I've taught hypnosis, my method of hypnosis, not saying it's the right method, my hypnosis to people around the globe. I've worked with people in Hollywood. I've worked with people on TV shows in Melbourne. I've worked all around the UK. I've worked all over Europe. I've worked in most of America. I've worked in Canada. I've worked, in fact, I've lost count of where I've been. But anyway, it's been a beautiful experience. And never, ever, ever did I see myself 20 years ago as that young soldier being a hypnotist that was going to travel the world. And it's given me a life and something that I really enjoyed. And that's the choice. That is part of the choice of what happens. And the key thing is that I made that choice to develop myself. And as you sitting there in that audience tonight, you sitting behind this screen, if you know there's things you've got to change, then I can help you. Okay, this is the key thing is that you don't have to. When I was going through all of my pain, not just physical, but emotive pain, when I was going through all of that, I didn't know where to turn to next. Counseling and CBT had let me down, in my personal opinion. And I felt that this was going to be life. And I'd actually considered taking my own life. It got to the point where I actually did want to take my own life. And I didn't know there was an opportunity. And for anyone who's out there now who may be under the influence that there is nothing else that will help me, I'm stuck like this for the rest of my life, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. And if whether it be a fear or phobia or thoughts of suicide, there is a choice. We all have a choice. And my point to you tonight to deliver this is to give you that understanding that hypnosis is a method and an idea, and there's more to it than just hypnosis. We've got the emotional freedom techniques. We've got thought field therapy, which we can discuss another day, or I can do a demonstration for you another night. But on the same token, that's it. And if anyone in this audience now reflects on that, we all know that there's things that we can change. There's all things that we can remove, and that's what we do. I currently specialize in post-trauma because that's where my passion is. I got into this profession due to post-trauma, and now I thrive on post-trauma. So if you've got any questions on that, we'll take that later on. But first off, what I want to do is I want to give people in the audience tonight the opportunity to have an understanding, an appreciation about basic psychology. Now, some doctors and stuff may say I'm slightly wrong. Good, I don't care, because nobody knows what we're on about. Even the doctors argue about what we're talking about. So to be quite honest, my delivery to you tonight is to give you a simplistic format on something you can take away and go, I know why. I now know why I do that. And that's the reason why I'm doing it. So let's talk about some simple psychology. Let's talk about some easy psychology that you can take away with you tonight and understand why you're doing. It's going to take all of you to participate. All of you are going to participate tonight, and I want you all to do it. I want you to all just get ready to enjoy this and just take it on board. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through a process, and I want you to experience it. For those hypnotists that are wanting to do this, it's good for you to practice it so then you can see what happens from the other side of the audience. For those people who have no hypnosis experience that are watching me right now, I want you to follow along with me. You're not going to do anything funky. You're not going to do anything silly. Promise you. All right? You won't do that till the very end. Cool. So let me just go through it, okay? Basic, simple psychology. Okay, you've got two hemispheres in your brain. A left brain and a right brain, okay? A left and a right hemisphere. Sat in the middle is a little ditty box, and it sits there flashing all day long, flashing. Since the moment you were born, since the moment they did the drop test, since the moment that your arms were sprung into life and you started to grow and grow, the fight, flight, freeze mechanism's been there. And I'm going to come to that in a moment. Okay, a famous person once said to us, a famous psychologist once said to us, Emile Coué once said to us, if there is conflict between your emotional brain and your logical brain, your emotional brain will always win. So let me just discuss that. Your left brain is your logic, left logic, right for emotional, okay? So you've got left logic, right emotional. If there is conflict between that, so your left brain does your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. Your right brain does all your creativity, all your emotions and stuff like that, okay? If there is conflict between your logical brain and your emotional brain will always win. It will push out logic all of the time. It will just push it out all of the time. And then when it's ready, it'll resurface and then go, what just happened then? Have you ever been in a situation before where you have said something? And let me know in the comments, have you ever said anything to somebody and gone, shit, I wish I hadn't said that? Or done something, then half an hour later gone, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't done it. I wish I hadn't done it. Have any of you ever done that? Don't tell me what it is, but if you have, pump it into the comments. And the key thing is it proves that point there. That we do things on the spur of the moment with our emotion to find up, to fight, to let that emotion get the upper hand on us and push that out of the way. All right. And it does that. And what happens is that with that emotion pushes the logic out of the way. Now, the job is that it starts to spin round about half an hour later and we go, shit, why do we do that? Why did I do that? And the key thing is about finding that balance. So the key thing that I want to get across to you tonight, the thing that I want to get across is that we all have those moments. We all do have those moments. We do. And it's part and parcel of life. It's the part and parcel of us little monkeys in this world that are just living in a crazed world. That's the thing. We are just all like that. And that's the key thing that I want you all to take away, because most people they all seem to think that it's just me. It's just me. Yeah. Sometimes it is you, but on the same token, we all do it. What you're doing is really bad things very well. All you've done is taught yourself really bad things and do them well. So my job tonight is to talk about that. So left brain, logic, right brain, emotion. If there's conflict or there's something that comes up that makes you need to protect yourself, you are going to sit there and put your emotions in front of you. Then once you relax, then the logic pops in and goes, what have you been doing? Have you all experienced that? I reckon you have. So I mentioned earlier, we've got the two left and the right hemisphere. Sat in the middle is that little fight, flight, freeze thing. Fight. We physically or verbally fight things to preserve and protect ourselves. Flight. We run away from things to get away from things, where it doesn't matter what it is. If you sit here, and I want you to reflect on this right now, and if you have done this, let me know. Let me know in the comments box. That fight, flight, freeze, fight verbally. Have you attacked somebody? Have you said something and then come back on to protect yourself? Have you run away from a situation before? Or have you gone into freeze? Have you gone into a freeze mode where everything, you just go, I can't do this anymore. And you just come all the way down. You just come all the way down and you just do that. So we've got fight, flight, freeze. Fight, we're going to fight things. Flight, we're going to run. Freeze, we're going to curl into a ball and hope it all dissipates and fades away. And the key thing is that fight, flight, freeze mechanism is the one that's going to sit there. And if it's sitting there doing this and going, I'm minding my own business, nothing's happening like that. Nothing's happening, that's fine. So we're in equilibrium, everything's fine. The logical brain's doing its little thing there, and the emotional brain's over there throwing it in, and everything's fine. But then all of a sudden, something happens. Maybe a large bang, maybe something that will make you jump. Something that might do that. Maybe a large bang, maybe a noise, maybe something that just makes you go, Jesus, what bloody hell happened then? That thing there, fight, flight, freeze, bang, we come up. And we see that as well, and it's an autonomous thing. So what happens is, it's like when we see footballs or balls being thrown at people, members, and all of a sudden, when we throw somebody at something, they do that. They don't think you're being an idiot, and you're you're throwing a ball. The first thing they do is preserve themselves, or they'll run away from it, or they'll just freeze and hopefully it disappears. That happens all the time. And you'll probably if you start to reflect now, you'll probably realize that you do those things. However, some people, they fight. They run. because they fight and fight and fight, and then they get fed up of fighting, so they run, and then when they're fed up with running, they then go into crash, and then they literally just sit there and curl into a ball and hope it all just disappears. And we've all had situations like that in relationships, in private life, in business and stuff like that. We all have this thing going on. It's about how we deal with it, how we reflect it, and how we get on with it on that day. Does it all make sense? Am I making sense to you people out there as well? And the key thing is that with that reflection, it helps you now to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So we've got the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, the left hemisphere for logic, the right hemisphere for emotions, that little bit in the middle, fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze. That's quite interesting, really, because people talk to me about post-trauma all the time, because I love working with post-trauma. And the way that I see it is that we've got the component parts of the brain. We've got the amygdala, the hippocampus, the corpus callosum, and all those type of things there. We don't need to worry about that tonight, but they're things that are sitting in the background. And there's one part of the brain that I'm really interested in, and around the amygdala and things, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because you don't need to know tonight. But the key thing is it sits there doing all day long. And it sits there like that, fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze. Now, the key thing is that when we grow up, things happen and we learn them. Have any of you ever burnt your arm or burnt your hand on a hot stove before? Have you ever burnt yourself before? And have you ever done anything that you think, I'm never going to do that again? And so we do that, right? So I bet there's loads of you out there that have gone, I've burnt my hand on a hot fire. Okay, so you know that not to burn yourself on a hot fire. So your little part of your brain goes, don't put hand on hot fire. Life's not pleasant. Life is not a fairy tale, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just tell you, life is not a fairy tale. Life is shit. It's about how we deal with that shit. That's the D thing there. Thanks, Richard. Cheers, mate. And what happens is that we learn all the way through. We learn all the way through about things, bereavement, partnerships, car accidents, anything like that. They all get built up and built up and built up and built up and built up. And the key thing is if this fight, flight, freeze is not allowed to shut down, it's not allowed to close, it's not allowed to rest, what it will do is it will keep firing off fight, flight, freeze signals. With the fight, flight, freeze signals, what we tend to have is lots of cortisone, lots of steroids, lots of peptides, lots of things firing around, electrical circuits bouncing around our body. And while it's bouncing around our body, is that we constantly feel like we're on edge. And that's what's happening with post-trauma. If we do not release all of these things that we've learned, and this fight, flight, freeze can't close, then guess what? That's why we see people going more and more and more. And that's why feeling like more anxiety, more stress, more tension, more pressure. And that's the key thing there. Now, with that, is that's the way that I explain post-trauma to people, is that we are like in a constant state of stress. If we do not alleviate it, we do not let go. And that's where my pressure cooker analogy comes into it, is that I firmly believe that your body's like one big pressure cooker, all right? One big pressure cooker. And the key thing is that during life, it builds up pressure, it builds up pressure, it builds up pressure, it builds up pressure, it builds up pressure until it gets to the top, until eventually it feels like it's going to go bang. And that's where I believe the hypnosis, that's where I believe post-trauma happens. That's where I believe that post-trauma is at its most, because it's accumulated stress factors. Post-trauma is not about one event. If it was, we would have all got post-trauma from just being born. The thing is we would have all got it, not just one or two, all of us. So the key thing is that if we can find a way of grabbing that valve and going and letting that pressure out, all we're doing is bringing it down, 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 until eventually we get that clarity and that clearance that we're looking for. There is no silver bullet. There is no magic out there that's going to make your life go into some fairy tale. Nothing. We are all going to have a constant bombardment of shit in our life. When everybody gets that, then guess what? That's when we start to realize that we have to keep going in and letting that valve off every so often. By letting that valve off, that's what happens. And in my case, what I found is that when I left that valve, when I lifted that valve up, it released the pressure down. Then I started to lose all the back pains, the leg aches, all of the psychosomatic stuff that was going on. The anger had gone, all of the things that were really, 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 making me really, off the rails with some stuff. And the key thing is that's why I always tell that analogy the way it is. And the key thing is that if we can bring that down in you, then guess what? It'll just bring it down so you're clearer and more clarity for the next set of events. Because unless you're the Dalai Lama and you haven't got any stress apart from your noodles turning up cold, life isn't fair, right? So let's just get that one out straight away. Our job in therapeutic world is to support you in letting go of your own crap, not us getting involved. I'm merely a guide. All I do is I get people to a point of belief that then they can make their own change works. The hypnotist is not in control. Well, they are to an extent. They are controlling the situation to ensure that you're safe, but actually you, with hypnosis, are doing it yourself. That's the key thing. Is the misconception about hypnosis about, oh, I can be made to do this, that, and the other. And when we talk about stage hypnosis, that's those people that go on stage would have done it in or out of hypnosis. Hypnosis merely amplifies that point. That's all it does. They would have done it anyway. And that's the key thing about this. So when we learn about that, that's exactly what you're doing. You are in control of hypnosis. And I did that the other day. So anyone got any questions on what I've just done just now? I'll do that in a presentation, by the way. Yeah, immune system will be hit. All right, what are we doing? Cool. So the key thing about what we're doing tonight. What was that there? I agree. John Master. Hello, John. Hope you're well, mate. I agree we get them out of the way and make our own choice. Yeah. So what my job is as a hypnotist is to just clear out some of the rubble that we've collected on the way. That's all my job is. My job is just to clear the rubble out of the way, preparing you for the next set of shit that's now going to hit in. My job is just to go with you to find that pressure relief valve and go like that. That's all we do. And you just have to keep doing it. Whether you go on holiday, whether you go see a hypnotist, whether you go have a bottle of wine with a very good friend, it doesn't make no difference. And the key part for you is that you remember that. And if you're out there at the present moment in time, and if you feel like you're suffering, if you feel like there's something going wrong, if you feel that there's something niggling away, or you feel that compression of all that shit that you've been building up with, then guess what? Just ask. If something's wrong, just ask. Because when I was in that situation, going back to that car accident in 2006, when I was involved in that, when the stress was coming through, it wasn't necessarily just the car accident that was replaying in my head. It was all of the stuff that I'd done in my military. There was all the stuff that had happened when I was a kid, and all those things there were just built up. And it's just natural for us to do it unless we tidy this up, because we're little monkeys running around in a really powerful world. It's just everything is all over the place, and we're just so drawn in. Our little heads can't take it. And if we look at it as though it's all compressed in there, then guess what? That's where the problems lie, the compression, not the one incident. The one incident may flick it over the edge. It may just go, oh, I can't handle this anymore, which happened in my case. But what I later realized when I was reflecting back on it is that there was traits happening that was showing me the pressure building. It wasn't until the car accident that it went, right, that's it. I've had enough. I'm shutting down the shop, and that's it. We're not doing anything. And that's what happened. Ladies and gents, have you got anything that you would like to ask me now? Does a traumatic experience get coded properly because the hippocampus is too busy pushing the cortisol through the body? Probably. And a key way that I'm going to show you in the audience right now, a very quick way to show you, by the way, about the conflict between your imagination and your logical brain, is I'm going to show you something really, really simple now. I want everybody to play part in it. Even if you've done it before, I just want you to go through it, and I want you to get it in your head roughly where I am in this. All I want you to do now is put your hand out in front of you like so. That's all I want you to do. Just put your hand in front of you like so. Good, good, good. When you're ready, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes now. That's it. Just close your eyes right now. Nothing sinister is going to happen. Nothing weird is going to happen. All I want you to do now is just imagine, only imagine now with your hand out in front of you like so. All I want you to do is just imagine with your hand out in front of you holding something. Just imagine I put something warm, hot, and smelly in your hand now. I just want you to imagine feeling it in your hand. I just want you to bring it up to your nose. And all I want you to do is now just imagine sticking your tongue on something dirty and disgusting right now. When you're ready, just open your eyes. Okay then, who noticed something in their hand, warm, hot, smelly, or anything like that? And when they put their tongue on it, did they notice anything that happened? Did you move your head? Did you sway? Did you do something that goes, whoa, hang on a minute? Did anyone get any movements? And that's the key thing, because let me just tell you something. There was nothing in your hand. There was nothing in your hand. Your imagination can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. It can't tell the difference between reality and imagination. It can't tell it. So if you close your eyes and put your hand there, and I say that I've just put a baby nappy in your hand and it stinks, or a diaper, sorry for my American friends, and I'll put a diaper full of God knows what else, and you bring it up to your nose and smell it. Even though you know there is nothing in your hand, your emotion will and creativity will go, whoa, he told me that there's a dirty diaper in my hand. There's a dirty diaper in my hand. And that's the thing. The key thing about this is we notice those things. And if you think about it, when we do that, your body's going into setting off stress. Just imagine that when you're thinking about somebody or something, or a record that's been playing, trauma, or any negativity that's played in your past, just imagine what that feels, what it was doing to your body now. Because if we look at it from a point of view that let's look at stress. It's not, but let's have a look at it this way. Stress is like an acid, right? So we need something that's alkaline that's going to come in and it's going to wipe this acid out. And that is a thing called oxytocin. There's many other different things. There's serotonin, dopamine, and lots of other little parts in your chemicals in your body that will help out. But let's just stay with oxytocin at the present moment in time, the love drug. And let's just stay with it there. So we've got the acid and we've got the alkaline. The object is to have a little bit of acid because we need a little bit of stress, but we want more love drug put in there. But we don't want too much because love drug, the oxytocin is something that will make you dopey and drowsy and make you just feel tired. So we just need a balance. That's what we need. We need a balance of oxytocin, and we need a balance of that little bit of acid, for want of a better way of doing it. Don't forget, guys and girls, there's lots of hypnotists out there that are probably going, oh, it's this chemical imbalance. I'm talking to members of the public, right? And they don't need to know what protein causes synapses. So the key thing is that my job is to get that there. And if the acid is too high, what we need to do is we need to fire off some oxytocin and then balance the system out. And that is exactly what I do with hypnosis. My job is to get hold of that pressure cooker, get hold of it, grab the top of it with you while you're doing it, and you're going to push it while I lift it and go, let all that pressure out in a session, to allow you to go, I feel like the weight's come off my shoulders, because that's what will happen. Because hypnosis itself is a very, very unique thing to each individual. Like now, I've got hypnosis by just talking to people via this camera. I have hypnosis now. Some people like to see the whole procedure of hypnosis, and I'm going to come on to that in a moment. But the key thing is that hypnosis happens in different ways for different people. Some people slump, some people keep their eyes open. Most of my work is done stood up. Most of my work is done stood up in the office. So when I'm working with people, I've got them, you know, working with them and working with what's going on with them that moment in time. And the key thing about hypnosis as well, which is far different to any of the other things that I've ever had, like CBT and counseling, is that I don't have to regurgitate the past. When you come to see me, if you choose to see me, if you come to see me for a personal session, we won't be digging up your past. There is no necessity in hypnosis or with hypnotherapy to dig up the past. In fact, we will hardly talk about your past. We will only deal with the here and now, how you're dealing with, how you're reflecting with, and what your perceptions are of things now. Not last year, because you can't time travel. We are dealing with the perceptions and the beliefs and the values of now, not 10 years ago. We need to deal with what's going on now, not then. So talking about and doing that is as much use as a chocolate fire guard. Okay, so just for those people, if you didn't get anything, that's fine. But just if you didn't get anything when I said hold something that was stinky or anything like that, just go get something from the fridge that you don't like, or go buy something tomorrow, a food or a drink that you don't like, and I want you to go purchase it and drink it or eat it for me. Because if you can't, that's your body doing the same thing. So like for some people, I was working with somebody earlier who said about scotch, and I said, oh, just imagine you've got a glass of scotch in your hand and you're smelling it like that. And he was like, well, there is no scotch. Somebody the other day was with blue Stilton cheese. I said, just imagine you've got that creamy cheese in your hand, rolling it around your fingers now, bringing it up to your nose and licking it right like that. And they were like, and that's the point. The point is, it doesn't matter if you didn't get anything today. If you've got a food substance or a drink substance that you don't like, I will then work with that as well. Okay, that's the key thing there. And that's the key thing there. So what we're doing is we're clearing out that big vacuum. We're clearing out that big pressure cooker, clearing it all out to give you clarity to move on to the next day. Okay. Same as Wendy just said then, is that she gets a reaction when squeezing wet wool. Just imagine rubbing that wet wool around your teeth. Okay, so I'm going to start answering questions now. Okay, Ben's just asked a question. How do you approach a fear or phobia? Do you stay away from the past? A fear and phobia, Ben, it's got nothing to do with what the clients come in with. A fear and phobia is something that the subconscious, unconscious monkey brain is waving and saying, hang on a minute, I don't like that for this reason. I've found that the issue is never the issue. So when a client comes to me for a fear or phobia, I very, very rarely find that it's the fear or phobia that I'm working with. So that's the key thing there, is that when I'm working with people, it's got very rarely to do. That's the show. That's the woo, like that and stuff like that. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so basically I would work with stuff that's built up. All right. And I don't do any regression, by the way. Don't do regression for those people who are interested. YK. Can hypnosis be used to improve relationship with better half? Yes, but it needs both of you, all right, because it may not be you. All right, cool. Hey Carl, have you added any NLP to your presentation? Don't forget, NLP is merely a model of excellence, of modeling excellence, I should say. So the point for me is that I've delivered and done presentations all my life. If there is formats of NLP in there, it's not actually NLP. It's just the way that I deliver. I mean, I was taught NLP. I don't know. No, I can't remember now. 2006, 2008. I think I did my first NLP practitioners. But no, I don't on purposely do it. Don't know why. Okay, isn't inner child work a form of regression? Yes, it can be. Yes. It all depends how you do it, really. The way that I do it is that I don't hang around for too long. I utilize it as a great tool to rekindle love, joy, and affection in a person's life, but I don't hang around too often. It probably, inner child work for me, takes about 5 minutes, whereas some people may sit there for hours and hours and hours regurgitating other people's shit up. So there's that. All right. Where are we? Cool. What's this here? Like NLP, you don't need to know the content, correct? Well, yeah. Well, don't forget, though, NLP is not new. Bandler and Grindler took that off of other people. All right, so they took that from other people. So this is way before NLP. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't need to know the content. All of my work is what's called content free. So if any therapists are out there, you apply this little bit of thinking to when you're working, is that when a client comes in and tells me that they've got a problem, I completely disregard what they've got to say and work with the person, not with their label. All right, so the issue is never the issue. All right. So that's the way I work with. I don't work. So when somebody comes in, they tell me they've got this problem, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. That's all well and good. I'll make a mental note of it, but I'm not really interested because that's very rarely the problem. That's very rarely the issue that's going on. It's all of the shit. The bit that they come in the office for is the presenting issues, the bit that they give me the visceral balm. That's why, that's why we see, unfortunately, we do see people that have been in therapy, especially counseling for years and years and years and years. They've just been trapped in counseling because they haven't been taught properly, and that's the key thing about it. The key thing about this, evening, Nigel, the key thing about content-free hypnosis is it opens up the subconscious, unconscious brain to tell you, it will tell you what's going wrong, not make you sit there and lie in an office and go, yeah, well, I think it was my nan's cat that died. I don't really know. Or was it my uncle's dog? Can't quite reflect on that. Anyway, but that's the point. The point is, if you wish to go to and sit and regurgitate for hours and hours and hours your life, that's fine. My job as a hypnotist is to do that in minutes to get you back on track. And that's the thing. And I know counselors disagree with me. That's fine. But that's what you've been taught. That's what you've been taught. My job, fair enough, but I've been barking away now for 40 minutes. I've been doing this presentation. But believe me, in a session of mine, in my session, I hardly talk because the session is not about me. The session is about the client. A lot of people, and I saw something yesterday about, I heal people. No, you don't. The client heals himself. We merely, if you want to use the word heal or cure, whatever you want to do, I don't use any of them. But the thing is, the point is that my job is to merely get the person to a belief system into where they can then open up and let go of their own shit. And at the end of the session, I still may not even know what it is. And that is brilliant. That's the way I love to work. No, that's key thing. Yeah, we had a bit of a blip with the sound at the very beginning. Is KS online? Yes. Let me just do this. You can either go to brand. You can either do this and go pick up my hypnotic bundle. If you scan that badge there, or if you go to www. If I just do this, www.hypnotist.live. There we go. And then what you can do is you can go to that one there. If you go there, you can buy kinetic shift and stuff like that. By the way, if you've got no interest in hypnosis or whatever and learning it, there's still courses on there, things called like emotional freedom techniques on that link that I've just put there, where you can learn emotional freedom techniques. And it's a brilliant way. So if you've got no experience whatsoever, there is a course on that link there below me that's called emotional freedom techniques. If you've got kids wet in the bed, if you've got things like that, you've got anger issues, may have a couple of self-esteem issues, stuff like that, there's a brilliant course for you to go away and just go learn. All right, you can do that. So anyone who's interested in just teaching themselves stuff, there's courses there for everybody. Is the KS in the diploma course? Yes. Subliminals for you. In this YouTube channel, there is a shop for all of my t-shirts and all of my stuff that go on there. Okay, there's all of my t-shirts and stuff. So I'm gonna come out of Karl in presentation mode now. I'm just gonna calm it right down. Guys and girls, if you're watching me for the first time, thanks very much. We did shoot up to about 120 odd people just then. Don't know where that came from. Mine was worse than a dirty nappy, I can imagine. The key thing is that, or by the way, those who want t-shirts, these ones, if you go to ukhypnosisacademy.com or .co.uk, if you go there, then you can go to merchandise and we sell the t-shirts there. I don't make any money out of them. They're just great to get people out there. Good. So, right, there we go. Nigel, let me just do this. So guys, that's a typical presentation that I would give to a new company, to somebody to talk about it. I ease them in. I talk about my past. I talk about my journey, my hero's journey. I've mentioned this before. You know, you've got to go have a look at the hero's journey. You've got to go do that. Campbell's book, and you know, just go have a look at that. Do your hero's journey. Why did you get to this point? Are you some nerd that just went and listened to a course, or did you actually experience life? And that's why I bring that into this. Evening, Carl, looking good, mate. Issues of feeling driven, not story driven. I find dealing with the feeling rather than the stories and sorts. Absolutely, my friend, absolutely. So what I tend to do is I take them on that journey about how I got to this transitional point in my career. And then what I do then is that when I'm at that point, then I then start to then give them the basic psychology. So I'm telling them why I've got to this point, why that horrendous day became the best day of my life. And then, you know, some of you may not have a dramatic story like I've just given there, right? But you do. You may not think, sorry, I should say. You may not think that you've got a dramatic story. You have. Maybe it was depression. Maybe it was alcohol. Maybe it was anxiety. Maybe it was something. And this is when people say to me, they say, well, how do I niche? How do I niche in hypnosis? You come from here. Why did you come into this? You'll become a great ambassador for what you're doing if you come from a point of the pain. If you come from that point of, I know when I'm talking about post-trauma, and when I'm listening to people, I don't sit there and go, oh yeah, I felt like that. I don't know, because I know it's completely, it was a chapter of my life that's gone. But the point being is if you can sit there and go, yeah, I had that and I got rid of it, and I'm gonna show you how they'll get this shit works, then guess what? Guess what, folks? If you become an ambassador for what you came into this for, then guess what? If it's depression, be the person to do that. If it was alcohol, do that. If it was anything, you know, whatever it was, nail biting, I don't give a shit. Mind you, it's nothing to do with that. But on the same token, just remember that. Be the ambassador. Come from the heart. A lot of people go for profit before passion. If you go for profit before passion, then guess what? Then it ain't going to work. If you go for passion before profit, the profit will come naturally. And that's why I see people, they always go, what course should I do next? Why did you come into this profession? I had postnatal depression. Go do something on postnatal. Go do something on that. Any more questions for you? Was that helpful? Was that helpful? That 40 minutes? You're not going to do it with the same energy and same as I do it, right? You're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. The point being is that you take what I've given you today, that precursor, why are we here today? Who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? Then I'm going to talk about a little bit of simple psychology, why we do what we do, the left and the right hemisphere, fight, flight, freeze. Some scientists disagree with me. I don't give a shit. I don't care. My client, the people who know nothing, those people that are watching me tonight with no inkling about what I do, have gone away and gone, I get that. I get that. I get that. Do you know why I don't sit there in Facebook groups arguing with these idiots? Because as soon as somebody hands me the evidence, it's out of date. As soon as somebody tells me, oh yeah, but they did this study and that study, I know it's out of date. We know it's out of date, or the findings are going to be wrong because it wasn't done properly. That's why we do so much research, because they'll always keep fucking it up. That's the key thing there, is that precursor story, simple psychology, and then go through some practical elements with them. And I just missed that, and I just caught Eddie's a minute ago, is that I will do this with everybody as well. I will get them to do this and do Maggie fingers and get them to do that and experience it. And that's one of the key things there. All right, it's one of the key things that I will do as well. If you choose to do the Maggie fingers, do the Maggie fingers. Have a little bit of a laugh. If I had somebody with me tonight, I'd say, would you like to come? Who would like a demonstration? And I'd bring them out and I'd stick them on here. I'd stick them out here and I'd say, right, we're going to do Maggie fingers. I'm not looking for phenomena. What I'm looking for is them to go, what the whoa, look at my fingers. And everyone in the audience going, whoa. That's what you're looking for. I'm not interested in phenomena on the night, because if I'm doing a demonstration and I unleash trauma, sexual trauma in front of their work colleagues, Job killer. That's all I'm going to say, right? So what you're looking for is phenomena. If I'd have got somebody in tonight, and to be quite honest, lots of people are still doing they're all down the pub actually in England. But if I'd had somebody here, I'd have just gone, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. That's it. Did you see that? Yeah. Oh, is that my fingers? Yeah. And then I'll go through that. Cool, guys. If you want to purchase, if you want to come have a session with me, the key thing is that what we always do. If you want to have a session with me, all you've got to do is you've just got to go online and book in at my website. That's all you've got to do, and go about it that way. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a business. This is a profession, and you earn money. Stand by, Mario. Those people who want to buy the hypnotic bundle that are asking me now, go to the website and you'll notice underneath it is a scan code. A code. Mastermind 100. So if you want the hypnotic bundle, which includes kinetic shift, you can get £100 off. Is £100 off there? Okay, with that code that's going around the bottom at the moment. Wendy, yeah, absolutely. Now, be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. I used to do a £20 note trick, right? Wendy's just said, would you stick somebody's hand to the floor? Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Stick their hands together. Oh, I can't pull my hands together. Opposing hands. Stick the hand to the head. All that type of stuff, right? That's fine. I actually one day, this proves a point about hypnosis. I stuck a young lady to a chair, not too dissimilar to this, right? One of these chairs, little bar stools, right? I stuck her backside to it. Nothing moved. I threw a £20 note on the floor and said, if you can get up and get that £20 yours. Bang. She was out of it like a rat out of an aqueduct. Gone, bang, straight onto it. So, yeah, to answer that question, yeah, I would stick people down, but I never take it too far in a demonstration. The reason being is because what happens is, and I learned this very quickly, is that because it's funny, it's quite funny. That's all well and good, right? The key thing about that is that some people in the audience may find it shocking. That's the difference. So if you're going to show phenomena, it's merely for a minute. That's all I ever do, because there are some people in there that I may upset. Now, it all depends what my audience is. In a corporate environment, and I've worked with big business people who, and I know you know who these people are, but I'm not allowed to say. You would know who they are. In a corporate environment, knowing my audience, I've had some fun, right? Because they expected it. But when I've been working in hospitals, and I've done this presentation, I've done that presentation to hospitals. It's about watching what I'm saying, watching what I'm doing, and just showing phenomena. Because when you're in the medical world, and I'm a lay person, this is, at the end of the day, if Milton Erickson had his own way, none of you lot would be doing this. If Milton Erickson had his own way, because he said we were lay people, don't forget, good, God bless him for what he did for the hypnosis world, and he did what he did. But that was one of the things. When you're playing around in the medical world, they will pull you apart. Some of them just enjoy it just for the crack anyway, but on the same token, you will always get it. And I've done that. Recently I've been working with the National Health Service with a project, and you've got doctors there that have witnessed people getting rid of trauma in front of their eyes, and they've just said they must have known them beforehand, or they just dismiss it straight off because that's not what their medical journals told them. I've had people tell me you can't get rid of, you can't help people with COVID. And I'm telling you now, I have. So, yeah, you got any more questions? Was that helpful? What was that helpful, folks? And it's a lot of time. You could have probably, I did that for 40 minutes because obviously we had a bit of a problem with the sound at the beginning. But the key thing for me is that the key thing about this for me is that you take what I've given you tonight. You take what I've given you and make it your own. That's the key thing about this. But if you follow the fundamentals of what I've done, then this will help you no end. It will no end help you if you're going to go into, you know, maybe a gymnasium, like I've said to most of you before. Go to a gym, go to do something else, you know, go, somebody's asked you to do a presentation in front of a school, you know. You know, there's stuff like that you can go do. You know, there's always stuff, you know, little things like this. The simple psychology, you're always going to get people that will question that. You're always going to get that about, oh no, it's fight, flight, freeze, flight, flight. I couldn't care less. You've got to remember, I'm talking to members of the public who don't give a shit, right? And the other thing as well is that nobody's proved that fight, freeze, flight, freeze, freeze, flight, freeze, flight, freeze. It's just another model. And if you take everything that we know about medical science and anything that we know right now as a model or a metaphor, and to come to the conclusion that all models and metaphors are wrong, then guess what? You'll start realizing why I think the way I am, because they're just models and metaphors. All right. Everything that we do is a model and metaphor. And if you realize that all models and metaphors are wrong, then guess what will happen? It'll make your life far, far easier. And for those other people as well, you know, people were asking me questions about fears, phobias, anxiety, this, that, and the other. The issue is never the issue. The issue is never the issue. I never work with when somebody tells me what they think it is, I work with what it really is when they're in the office. And that will change the way that you work. You know, it just makes me laugh. Yeah. And yeah, I've had loads of stuff. I've been criticized before for, you know, some people seem to think that I've given suggestions that they taste the lemon. I never even mentioned a lemon during a session. Do you know what I mean? And I've not even mentioned it. And they've, you know, I've told the person to go away and go find something in their fridge, and they've come back and then got a lemon and squeezed it in their face and gone, oh yeah, I can taste it. I've never once given a suggestion. That's one key thing about it. Yes, Steve. Elmer also approves the eye control. What did Steve say? Oh, here we go up here. It's just got up here and have a look at this. As David said, you can open your eyes anytime, but I'd rather you stay in control and keep them shut. Perfect double bind. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if you know, but I used to be an Elman instructor. I used to be an Elman instructor with, and I did it with Larry and Cheryl. Did it in Denmark. Yeah, fractionation, 3 roads to Bernheim. Kathleen McIntosh, yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, guys, this is a membership site. And if you are enjoying what I'm delivering, there's more every night. We're doing stuff. If you want to become a member, don't forget, if you want to be green, like some of these people here, and most of these greens, and they're going to start turning over as well into reds and blues and stuff like that, because they've upped their game and things like that. Don't forget, you can buy into the channel for $5.99, $9, $5, $9, and $90. And don't forget, if you want to have a mentoring session with me, you can drop down at any time, by the way. You can literally go from $90. If you want to have one session with me a month and drop from $90 down to $9, I don't care. All right. But the point being is that you'll help and support the channel. I'm coming out in my own time when I could be sitting there, you know, beating up my children. I come out here to help you guys. And I think we're nearly close to 8 weeks now that I've been going live every night. I only thought we'd do this for 7 days. So guys, don't forget, if you want to join, go back into YouTube now and go back into my channel. You'll see a join button. Choose the one that you want and then go from there. As Nigel says, think simple as the mind is simple, as Karl says, contrary to common beliefs. It's a simplistic thing, mate. But what I tend to find within the hypnosis profession is that hypnosis is easy, overcomplicated by idiots. Because what they need to do is they need to bulk their course out and they need to pump it up to justify the ludicrous prices and the shit that they've done it. Oh yeah, and as Simon's just said there, don't use your mobile device if you want to become a member. And just to let you know, if you are a member, I will be live streaming my diploma in July into the members only facility area. All right, and that's entirely up to you. You can come in and out, you can jump in and out when you want, but on the same token, if you want that material, I'm delivering the whole diploma in July to the back end of this site, so you can watch that. All right, cool. So yeah, Kathleen, at the end of the day, let me just come on to this. I love your direct approach. You know, at the end of the day, there are people who dearly love Ericksonian approach. They love ambiguity. They love elongated stories. There are people out there that teach hypnosis that have a 3-minute subject that seem to be able to turn it into 3 hours. That's brilliant if you love that type of stuff. My little ADHD head, I've never been told I've got ADHD, but I sometimes feel I must have, where it's just I'm like that squirrel in sitting there with a can of Red Bull. But the thing is that always, you know, I'm always off. I find the direct approach works for me and my clients. A lot of people critique me for that. I do get a lot of criticism for, oh, you're too harsh, you're too direct. Well, I'm not fucking working with you. I'm working with a member of the public who loves it. They've watched my YouTube channel and that's what they want, you know, and it's as simple as that. The point being is that my approach is the opposite end of the scale to somebody who's got full of ambiguity, likes to stretch things out and make real big carnage out of something. There's nothing. I prefer to do it quickly and effectively, and that's why I do it. And the key thing about that is that you know, it's horses for courses. There are people out there who absolutely love my approach, and there are people out there who hate my approach. I couldn't give a shit. I'm still busy. Do you know what I mean? I'm busy in what I'm doing, in teaching that and doing that, and that's the key thing there. So, guys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Let me know. You know, let me know if you've enjoyed it. Let me know if we've done that. If you want to try therapy, what's that? If you want to try therapy stretched out, try CBT. Cognitive behavioral torture. Exactly. Cognitive behavioral torture. Yeah, good. As long as you're blunt as well, good. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, people love my approach. They want my approach, so they come to me. They watch this channel, they see what I'm up to, and they go, I want a bit of that. Or I went to a hypnotist and they were reading off a piece of paper. Fuck, I ain't got no time for that. I ain't got no time for that. All right. So, guys, thanks very much for your time tonight. See you. Well, 7:30 tomorrow night. Don't forget, this is a member site. So, if you want to, you know, donate to the channel and to help out, obviously. I've only got one BMW at the moment. No, I'm only joking. But it's only $4.99. But don't forget, guys, I am going to be streaming to my diploma course into the back end of this site. So if you want to see my diploma, the only thing that I won't be, it'll be streaming. It'll be going on, and you'll be able to watch it and do stuff. And we will do Q&As during it. But on the same token, I'll predominantly be working with the people in the classroom. But on the same token, you will be able to watch the diploma and how I set it up and what we do on there, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, and guys, please like if like it now and share it with your friends, you know, and then go from there. Sorry about the sound at the beginning. I have not got a clue. I think what happened was, thinking about it, is I changed the battery. For those people who don't know anything about mics, that's called a condenser mic. I changed the battery in this earlier. And I think what's happening is I've upset the volumes. Anyway, neither here nor there. It will not be happening tomorrow. Jane, if you want to become a member, what you do is you don't on a mobile app, go to on your laptop, on a laptop or on a desktop, go back into this YouTube channel. At the top of my channel, it says join. Click on the join button, and on that join button there, it will then take you through a process. Either $4.99, $8.99, or $90. 90, and you can downgrade whenever you like. You know, you can do whatever you want, however you like. But each level gets different things. $90 gets you a mentoring session with me, so you could do a mentoring session with me 1 month and drop down to $9. Then go, shit, I need some help. I'll go back and do the $90. Simple as. All right. So, guys, I will see you tomorrow. I'll be putting up tomorrow's presentation later on. Oh, by the way, don't forget, if you are a member, don't forget to join our Facebook group. We've got our own Facebook group for this channel, and tonight is lottery night. So I will be doing the lottery in about another hour's time. All right, my friends. And so look at who you're being partnered up with. There's loads of stuff going on in the background, introducing ourselves. So all these people that are in here and now who didn't know each other 2 weeks ago and now got new friends and doing that across the way. Don't use iPhone. Yeah, use this YouTube channel. It's this YouTube channel, Karl Smith, UK Hypnosis Academy, Karl Smith. Guys, on that note, much love to you and your families. Be safe out there. Don't forget, take what I've given you, use it, abuse it, take whatever you want, go play around with it, put your own pseudoscience in there. I couldn't give a shit, right? I couldn't care less. The point being is just enjoy what you fucking well do, all right? Guys, don't forget, go out there, go practice. And when you finish practicing, go practice some more. Take care, my friends. See you at 7:30 tomorrow. And to all those members, thanks very much for your support. All the best.